Hello and welcome to the video. This is a first look at this thing here. Now this is the ZOHD Dart XL. Now it arrived yesterday and I wanted to get a video up so I could show you how it comes and what it actually is, because I've been very excited about this for a couple of months. Now I'm a big fan of the ZOHD products anyway. They're really well put together. I'm a real fan of the ZOHD Orbit, which is a flying wing. In fact, I actually installed iNav into that wing so that it would do even more, and my favorite FPV plane for just chucking and flying around is the ZOHD Dart. So I'm very interested to have a look at this ZOHD Dart XL. Now for those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you'll notice that this bears a lot of similarity to another plane that I've been thinking of building out on the channel, and that is the Mini Drac. And if I put the Mini Drac and this thing together, you'll see that the dimensions and layouts are very similar. But the nice thing about the ZOHD Dart XL is that it is significantly less expensive. I've got mine from Banggood. I'll pop a link in the description, but lots of people are starting to stock them now. I got mine when it was on pre-order, so it's a little bit cheaper than this, but at the moment they're currently listed for about £158. So in this video, what I'm going to do is actually show you how it comes in the box, because it's very impressively shipped to you as a customer. Opening it makes it feel like a very premium product, and then show you how it goes together and some of the features that I've been pretty impressed with. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to build this out. I'm going to use it for a couple of videos. Actually, I want to do something around how to set up flying wings for 5-inch quadcopter pilots who haven't done it before. I also am going to install a flight controller and other things in here as well, because unusually compared to the rest of the ZOHD lineup, the Orbit and its baby brother, this one doesn't come with a stabilizer installed as standard. So if you're thinking of this, it's probably worthwhile considering putting in your own flight controller or some form of stabilizer as well. I imagine it's going to fly very stably. Most of the ZOHD products that I've had in are great flyers, but I like the idea, with all the FPV capabilities that these things have, of popping in something nice. Personally, I'm going to pop in a micro vector, but more about that in a couple of minutes. So this is how it arrives in one nice big box, and when you open it up, rather than be confronted with lots of polystyrene with bits in, there are 3 individual boxes, and they are unbelievably well designed in that they fit in, so you can't actually get them out. Maybe a pull strap or 2 on this that you can actually pull some of these boxes out would have been welcome, but with a quick little bit of help from a screwdriver we can open each of the pieces up. So this first big box inside has the wings, and it also has the vertical stabilizers as well. The manual, such as it is in here. The building of this thing is very straightforward. Everything's all together. Under those is the wing, which is all pre-built, servos installed, connectors, rods, so that is going to make that very quick and easy to put together. Next box will open. Let's do this little one. Okay, it's a little box a bit. So we have the propeller, we have the adapters for the different camera types, session, and nicely also the kind of run cam or Mobius style. A couple of stickers, mounting screws for the flight controller if you're going to put one in, and these are the little vortex generators that you glue into the front edge of the wing. The slits are already cut. It does say on the box that there's no glue required, but I'd recommend a little bit of foam safe CA. You're probably going to get those in perfectly. Big box at the back contains your carbon fiber rod that's going to go through both the wings and the central section as well, and then we have the main body that looks like it's pretty much all pre-assembled. The motor's on here, the speed controller's in here, my rear canopy isn't attached, so let me just take this out and give you the first look at this. This is genuinely me unboxing it for the first time. The initial impressions are very nice indeed. So we have this rear canopy that clips into here that goes over everything. It's got some great airflow, some really nice plastic pieces. So I have the ESC at the back with a JST lead to power all the FPV gear and other pieces. Brilliant. I do love it when manufacturers think about stuff like that. It's amazing how many FPV craft come with no way to power the FPV equipment. So well done ZOHD for including that. You can also see in front of that ESC mount there's the place for the flight controller, and there is absolutely tons and tons of room. Now this rear canopy is held on by 2 screws at the back. It looks like a wooden support for the motor itself. So I'm guessing once you've done all of the electronics and wiring, you're not going to go in there because you're going to be going in the front. In the front is a huge battery bay with a nice long XT60 lead, so you can plug it in, and then that's held on with magnets. And at the front you've got the cutouts, which are slightly different from the original pre-visualization things, and then you've got a skid underneath as well. And here on the side you've got the pin connectors, almost like the very old-fashioned serial connectors, the 9-pin D plugs, if you remember those. So let me just show you how this thing goes together. Probably the easiest way to show you is to actually take it apart. So I've not installed the Vortex Generators yet, but of course we have the front hatch. I am so impressed at how blooming big that is. We can get some really heavy batteries in here. Gonna have to play with the central gravity. I love the way they've actually got marks on the thing itself, so you can figure out where you want the battery to be, and you can kind of mark that as well. This is where the adapters go. There's space here for a standard GoPro, a GoPro Session or similar, and also an adapter for something like a Mobius camera or one of the kind of RunCam cameras that you can pop in here as well. I love that flexibility. By the side of it is a separate hole for a dedicated FPV camera, and I really like that. I like being able to fly out of the FPV camera and, you know what, just leave the GoPro or whatever it is in the nose to just record and get on with it. Removing the back hatch, again, really impressed with the amount of airflow that they've obviously built and thought about in here. Putting the VTX and the other pieces back here is going to be in a nice amount of airflow and should be kept nice and cool. You can only see that the ESCs at the top, as we've just had a quick look at. You'll see where the flight controller is going to go, and then the other thing that you'll probably spot here is 2 little black things in the corners, and those are the 2 screws along with the carbon fiber rod that hold the wings into place. And the wings, when they snap in, feel very, very sturdy indeed. Here's a close-up picture of both the ESC and the motor, just so you can see the specs. Both are ZOHD branded, and I've got no reason to think that they're not going to do the job, but obviously we'll get around to flying this and give it a full test. You only get 1 prop in the kit. I'd probably worthwhile, if I were you, ordering a couple of spare props. Occasionally when wings like this come down, if it is in the wrong position and catches something, as it comes into land, it can snap one. So I'd get an extra 1 or 2 and keep them in the spares bag when you go to the field. So to take off the wing, let me just show you how this works. If we turn it over, you can see how nicely the wing's put together. It has leading edge protection, and also the way that the servo plugs into the connector that goes from the wing to the central body is very neatly done, so replacing a servo isn't going to be complete heartache. Carbon fiber reinforcement in the elevon, and skids out in the wing to complement the one that's under the nose. Now, to remove the winglet, then all you do is you rotate this piece underneath and the winglet slides out. Very neat and easy to do, and means that this will break down for transport. I'm not going to have to glue these things in, which is going to make it a little bit trickier to transport the wing. Now, to remove the wing itself, all I have to do is unscrew that 1 bolt, and those 2 bolts come in the kit. You just have to slide them into position. About 5 or 6 turns of that bolt, and then the wing will slide off. Again, the way the plastics at the back are all made, once it's in there, it's quite secure, even if it's just held on with 1 screw. And there's the 6-pin plug that's going out into the wing that's going to carry the power and the signals, and that plastic piece at the back does a really good job of keeping everything lined up and located. So along the leading edge here, you can now see where the Vortex Generators are going to have to be pushed in. I'll grab those from the kit so you can see those a little bit closer up. What they just are pieces of cut plastic. I'm very tempted to just scan and recreate these in SketchUp so that if I accidentally lose one, I've got replacements and I can just print one out. But they're just flat bits of plastic that look like that, no detail on them at all, and you just push them into the slots on the wing and push them all along, and they create vortices over the top of the wing that will help with lift, particularly at slower speed. Again, I'm probably going to put a little bit of foam safe CA when I come to build it and put it together properly, just to keep those in position. So to attach the wing is a piece of cake. Once you've got the carbon fiber spar in place, you just push the wing home until it seats, rotate the screw, just tighten it up, and that will hold the wing into place. It's all backed in balsa, so even if you're a little bit heavy-handed, you should be okay. Pop the winglet through and just rotate that tab, and the wing is together. It is literally that fast. So this is a plane that I've been looking forward to getting, as I said at the beginning of the video, for quite a couple of months. Initial impressions are very, very good, but then this is the big brother of the Dart, which I'm a massive fan of. So I'm pleased to see these extra features like the skids, the little pieces along the leading edges to protect it, the way the servos are put in. I can see the carbon spar reinforcements embedded into the wing and along with the elevons as well. The plastic reinforcements and the way that the servos actually just plug into the side is very neat. But the big thing that surprised me is how much space there is inside this thing. We've got loads and loads of room at the front for a battery, lots of room to position it backwards and forwards to help with our central gravity. We've got that spot where we can pop the flight controller, and again I'm going to use the mini vector in this thing. I was going to pop that into the mini drac, but I'm going to reuse it in here instead, because this is one that's going to get an awful lot more flying, simply because this is a much cheaper airframe. So if something nasty happens and I crash and things get destroyed, there are spares available for this, so I am going to be able to order spares and swap things out, which is going to be a little bit cheaper as well. Or if all else fails and I really bugger the entire thing up, I can just order another one for about 150 quid. So join me in the coming weeks as I start to build this out and put this all together and get some flying footage as well. I am going to probably fly this initially with a very basic stabilizer in it and just have a quick fly around just to do demos and see how it performs. But then after that, I think it's time to pop things like the mini vector in and show you how I'm going to put that all together and how that's all going to work. And this will probably be one of my go-to long distance flyers. I might even put the 2.4 gigahertz FPV system on here. I've got that in, I ordered that from Banggood at the same time and it's arrived in the same box. I'm very interested to put that in here as well, and maybe use Crossfire to run everything to get a really, really nice, solid, but not ridiculously expensive FPV fixed wing model. If you found that video useful or like the content, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to go the extra step, you can become a Patreon of the Painless 360 channel and help provide support for what I do here. All the videos created here are put into playlists, so if you're interested in a particular topic, have a look at the playlist, and they all are organised in there to make them easier to use. If you're not sure if there's a video for your particular problem or topic you want to know more about, then add Painless 360 to the Google search term that you're interested in, and that should find the video, article or content about the particular thing that you're interested in having a look at.